Hey everybody, welcome to the Inimitable Podcast. I am your host, Jermaine Harrison. I am a licensed mental health counselor, mentor, visionary, transitional life coach, but more importantly, I am a neurospicy black sheep. Inimitable means something that is so unique it is impossible to duplicate. This pod is for the neurospicy who are building mental wealth without a blueprint. Every guest here, we are going to talk about some of those topics that other people don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it, whether it be about motherhood, Black men, whether it be about joining the force and being a mental health advocate. Either way, we're going to talk about it. So, with that being said, thank you for coming. And if you're here, it's because God needed you here. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey world, how y'all doing? Listen, whew, God is good.
All the time.
This was an insane moment, but we're here. We're here to do this. I'm excited. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I had y'all waiting for way too long. The person I have with me, I met 3 weeks ago through my cousin. And, you know, there's moments when you hear someone's story and you're just like, ooh, that's good. And then you say, ooh, wait, there's a platform for this. And we need to see and people need to hear her experience. And so without further ado, and her name says Lele. Which one is it?
In the dress that today, just kept it simple. Lily.
Her name
Walisha. Lily is
Walisha.
as simple as it gets. But my government is Walisha.
If you were curious, and now you know.
Right.
Well, thank you for coming in. And of course, thank you for your patience because this is great. So to really like start it off, I think just giving people a background on who you are before we get into those deep questions, because, you know, I've known pieces of you, but, you know, share with the world who is Walisha. What are you about?
Oh, well, Walisha can be many different people. But first things first is I will consider myself a survivor.
Yeah,
I am a survivor amongst many different things. I'm a mother. And I'm a hardworking woman. And I'm also a woman of God. So all in one, you might get the godly version, you might get the ratchet version, you're gonna get the professional version. I'm here for it all, but I'm a jack of all trades, as we must say. So
come on.
I mean, I'm here with questions and I got the answers. I am who I am. I'm me. And whatever version you get of me is a reflection of who you are. So the best of me or you get the worst of me. That's your choice.
I like that. I like that. Because listen, everyone doesn't deserve all the pieces.
Exactly.
Right? I've learned that the hard way. You know, I've learned that the hard
Me
way.
too.
Of like, you know, you give people too much and then they use that for their advantage and it just turns out really messy and it's not cute at all. So I love that you're a survivor because again, when I heard, and I only heard a piece of it, right? We was doing shout outs to self and we were doing little things and I said, ooh, that's good.
Wouldn't even imagine, right?
No, because listen, you know, when people say like, you don't look like what you've been through, like for you, Miss Ma'am, I love it. Okay. So when you talked about your past and all the things that you were going through, like get us to like what happened in your world that got you in this whirlwind of emotions and behaviors and
my world, huh?
Yeah.
I'm still piecing those puzzles together.
Okay.
I can say that I have blocked out a lot in my past. So I'm going to be as honest and direct and as fluent as possible.
Yeah.
Because obviously my past made me. Even though I blocked off some things, I know that a lot of my journey and a lot of my, let's say, the things that I've overcome have a lot to do with trauma. I am a product of the state. So I didn't have parents. I had no mommy, no daddy. I had an amazing grandmother, rest in peace to her, who did her best. But at the same time, everybody wants their mother. Everybody learns for their mother. Everybody yearns for their father. Everybody, where's my parents? So I think a lot of who I am came from neglect and abuse. And I am where I am today due to those. I am who I am. So I don't want sympathy. This isn't like, I don't need no sympathy. Trust me. That's the last thing I need is sympathy.
Yeah.
Clap. I just need recognition. I'm a very powerful woman. And if it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I wouldn't change anything.
That's good.
I'm very grateful for all of my hardships. I'm very grateful for everything that I've gone through, because again, without that, there's beauty in the struggle, right? Well, you're looking at the beauty in the struggle. Right. And again, a lot of it came from family lies, family, just a lot. So I feel like my past was a lot of lies that I had to find out as I became an adult. And I went through some things like typical, I've been on drugs. I done worked in fields such as exotic dancers, as we call it. I was a stripper, would just say it like that. But out of all that, I have 2 beautiful children. I have a great position. I'm in a great organization working for the youth. And if I didn't go through this experience, I don't think I would land where I am today and be able to work with these youth. I am them. I'm them. And the only difference is I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have an organization that was there to give out those resources or to just listen. So my journey is really God's plan. It's not mine. I set plans a long time ago. I set plans when I got pregnant, and then none of those plans followed through. So I can tell you I don't set plans anymore. I just go with emotion. I see it. I want it. I get it. By all means, I just do it in a respectful manner today. I do it in an honest manner today. And I just take those steps to being great. And I follow my God. And I don't want to get too spiritual too. Everything today for me is God. Like he is who it is. He is the reason. He is the purpose. He is like if we want to talk about, the drug situation, couldn't even tell you why. It was just, I got into it with family. And when I got into it, it felt good. And it felt good for the moment. So I just, like anybody else, chased that same moment. We're all addicted to something, right? So my addiction, I know people who have been addicted to things and it's taken a toll, mind over matter, right? I feel like my addiction, I definitely had control over more or less, because I've never put myself in harm's way, you know what I'm saying, for the drugs or for whatever. I've never stolen from anybody. I've never done that. I knew what I wanted. I did what I did to get it. But for me, it was always survival mode. I'm just on survival mode, and this is what I want. This is what's going to help me get there. And to be honest, my choice of addiction helped me get comfortable with being out in the community, talking to people. I don't know if I would have ever found that power if I didn't choose those drugs at the time. What I would have done to myself. I have a past of being suicidal. And I can tell you, when I started using drugs, I never felt suicidal while using the drugs. I always felt like I had power and I could overcome while being on the drugs. I want to say, oh, my kids changed me. They didn't. My kids absolutely did not change me. I changed me because I was different. It wasn't about my kids, my man, or anybody else that came into my life, because they all could have told me what to do. I don't listen to people very often. I listen to me and my experiences. And everything that I've gone through in life is the reason why I've changed. Because I've seen God firsthand. Like, okay, this is what's happening. Can't nobody get me out of my situation. Nobody. No family, no friends, no kids, no man. Nobody could get me out of my situation.
Yeah.
God did. He got me out of my situation. And he literally showed me that there's no other way. Okay, I repented. I did what I did because he showed me another way.
Yeah. Ma'am, listen, it was so good, because lately I've been talking with a lot of people when it comes to family stuff, right? family stuff is enough to set people off that edge into some crazy headspaces, right? Because you talked about neglect and abuse. Those two things, people don't easily come out of that, right? People don't find hope and love and peace outside of those things because your first teachers, which are your parents and your family, if they mess it up, everybody else after that
absolutely
copy and paste. You know what I mean? Yep. And so, yes, ma'am, you are a survivor. And listen here, we love Jesus over here. So you talk about Jesus all you want to, because
my guy. It is what it is. That's the only. It's really, when I thought about it, and I'm just like, there's no writing nothing down. There's no, there's not no write down. There's only one person that is in charge of all this movement, and it's him. It's solely him.
Yeah,
and like you'll know when it's him because you will feel it. You'll feel it. It feels different.
It does. It does. Speaking of feeling different, like what was the healing process like after the neglect and the abuse and the addiction? Like how did you start the journey, and what was it like? Like how hard was it?
To be honest, I don't think I am 100% healed.
Of course not.
At all. I never even thought about the healing process. I just kept moving. I never took a second to think about the healing process. I just started seeing the transitions. I did this and I got that. So it was only right. It's only what makes sense. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I did this. I got that. I did this. I got that. So everything that I did, they came with something. Well, what do you want? When I did the negative, I didn't really get nothing positive in return.
Right.
So when I started going about things in the right way, I got everything that I yearned for that I didn't even know was possible at the drop of a dime. And it sounds so easy, although I make it look easy. I'm learning that it's not that easy. For me, it feels like it was that easy. It feels like it was just, you know what? I saw it. I made the mistake. I'm big on not making the same mistake. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's inner wisdom, but I'm just big on not making the same mistake. If you burn yourself once, you want to keep burning yourself. You usually try to prevent yourself from making that same mistake so that you don't feel that same feeling.
Yeah.
So life for me is, I don't like how that felt when I did that. So I got to try something different until I like how it feels. And I just kept going. I kept going. Even when I was told no. Yeah, I cried. Yeah, I cursed. I never gave up though. One thing I never did was just throw in the towel. I just did something different until I got the results that made sense, because I don't even know what I was looking for. I just got results that made sense. Like, okay, this makes sense.
That's good.
It just made sense. I can say that ever since I can remember, I might have been 11. And I always told myself, I'm going to be a lawyer. I don't know what that entailed. I don't know nothing about nothing, but I just knew I'm going to be a lawyer. And then one day I found myself in Las Vegas at 14 with some godparents, and they took me to UNLV. And I walked into this library and they're like, oh, you want to be a lawyer? Do you know what that entails? And they handed me this big ass book. And they was like, well, you got to know everything in this book. At 14, I'm not going to be a lawyer. Because in my mind, it was like, oh, I'm never going to get there.
Yeah.
How? Shot my dreams. And when I came back home, it was like different fields. I'm not going to be that. I'm about to graduate as a paralegal. I'm going to be a lawyer. Absolutely. And that's just what it is. I've always known I wanted to be. I just didn't know how to navigate through life. He knew that's what I was going to be. And he helped me navigate through life. When he gave me my first kid, that was a sign. I didn't process that. Still lived my life how I lived my life due to how she, was conceived. Didn't listen. Okay, so you put me in position with the second kid. All right, now, God, what you talking about? Because I wasn't supposed to be nobody's mama, but you keep giving me kids that I'm not even inquiring about what's going on. Now I got somebody else to live for. It's not about me. I got 2 other humans to live for, whether I ask for them or not.
Right.
And even though I didn't have parents, I knew that I wasn't going to be that parent, no matter what it looked like. And I still struggle. I probably don't nurture them the way that the norm is to nurture your child, but I'm here, and they don't want for nothing. And I got their back, and I'm all they know. So I just feel like you just got to tune in when he's talking to you. When they were in my, everything was in my face, but I was blocking it. I was blocking it because I didn't know no better. And it's like they say, the more you know, the more you grow.
Yeah.
To know better is to do better. Once I started to know better, I just started to do better. And now everything to me is just research. Everything to me is just, it's about knowing better. I'm not going to stop. I don't want to stop learning. And I'm not. Anything. You can tell me a word right now. If I don't know, that's okay. I'm not going to sit there and just act like I know. I'm going to go straight to where I got to go to figure out what you're talking about. I'm not going to give up on learning. And that's the key to life, because everything changes. The world changes. Time changes. I know they say history repeats itself, but does it? Somebody, you know, my cycle isn't, I'm breaking that cycle. I don't know who graduated in my family. I don't know where they made it to. I know I'm making it to. And I'm going to be that attorney. Because that's what he told me. That's what he told me. And it's my time. Everybody got their time.
Yeah.
I haven't been to umpteen colleges. I didn't make it past the first semester. Here I am about to graduate. It's my time.
Come on. This is so good. Like, listen, y'all, we throw some stuff in the comments because she is talking.
It's my time. It's my time.
Chris said.
And nobody's going to stop my shine.
No, ma'am. You shine as bright as a diamond, like Evangelist Rihanna said.
Okay.
Shine on bright.
You name it, it is what it is. That's why sometimes when I hear people say, oh, the odds are against odds. What does that matter? What does that matter? I don't even care to hear the negative anymore. One thing I had to do, though, was change my mindset. Growing up, everything was negative. I was a negative thinker. I was a negative speaker. That's too good to be true. I changed my mindset. Manifestation is very real.
Yeah.
I pray, I manifest, and it happens. Every time I think about sinning, something go left the same day. Karma just pop right then. Yeah. And it could be the littlest thing, just like littering. I'm not a litterer. I don't like to litter. Okay. But there's those moments where it's like, well, everybody else littered it. And the karma goes, this isn't you. I littered last week or a couple of weeks ago, right? End up throwing my own money out. No, it seems like anything I try to do that's wrong, I get to see like the karma's right there.
Yeah.
Some people just don't pay attention. Pay attention. The signs are there.
Ooh, aren't they? I feel like there's times where we miss a lot of things because we so caught in the hustle and bustle that is life, and in the grind and the hustle, whatever you want to call it. But like I heard someone say once that God's always talking, we're not always listening.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
We too busy worried about our own plan.
Aren't we?
We're too busy worried about your own plan, but it's like, come on, we got to think big. It's bigger than us. So if it's bigger than us, then what does that mean?
So much bigger.
It's
right?
So much bigger than us.
We don't, you had said something. And I'm always going to track back, because when you say something, we're just not going to ignore it.
Absolutely.
That mind shift that you had, right? Because it wasn't just, I came from abuse. It was, I was doing some wild things back there. And when you talked about the addictions, right? I don't think I've had anyone on here that really talked about their addiction. But addiction is something that people always look down upon, but we don't realize we all addicted to something. Whether it's drugs, sex,
hair, nails, sneakers,
hey,
whatever it is, we all addicted to something.
And because
working, some people addicted to working.
Yeah. And what you said was so good. You was like, that thing made me feel powerful. And people always are like, oh, I would never stick a needle in my arm. I would never snort this. I would never drink this. And it's like, okay. But when you feel like you have nothing, people are willing to do anything to feel again, to hope again, to love again, to something again, right?
Look at the vaping, the cigarette smoking. Okay, you might not stick a needle in your arm, but what you doing? Are you drinking? Are you smoking them cigarettes? Are you smoking these vapes? Even weed is an addiction.
It is.
No matter how natural we want to say it's a natural substance, there's an addiction in that. Mm-hmm. And there's a cause and effect. Everything has a cause and effect, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. And I came to realization to that and was like, okay, I want to be addicted to success. So that's not what I'm addicted to. I'm chasing success.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I'm done. Like I said, it's still there. I'm still processing the healing. I'm still trying to figure out. I know I'm not healed all the way. There's times where I pick up a drink, but and I'll pick up a drink at a random time. What am I doing? I'm coping with something. I'm trying to, relax or do something. That's now, there's those functioning addicts. Call me that if you want to, because I ain't never been just in the streets. Like I said, I never stole from nobody. I never had any issues where it damaged anybody that my addictions only put damage on me. I never let that get in between anybody that I say I love or that I deal with. And I was also in the closet addicted. Like, people that see me, they wouldn't even know. I did this by myself. I didn't need a crowd. I don't need a crowd to get high. I'm solo dolo. I'm not sharing. This is me. I don't need y'all. Whatever y'all do, y'all do. But I'm gonna get mine and I'm gonna go over here because it helps me. And when I realized, the first time I realized that this is me, or this is something that I know I have to fix, is when I tried to strip without the drug. I couldn't even do it. I didn't even know how. I was embarrassed. But with the drug, I'm free. I can make my money freely. So I know I needed that, because I can't do this without that. Because that's not who I was supposed to be. That's not who I am. So if that's what it took me to go out there and strip and escort and get money, then that's not who I am. The job I do today, I do that on a sober conscience. I don't need nothing to come to work. I don't need nothing to talk to these youth. I don't need nothing to go out there and tell people who I am and what I do. I do that on a clear conscience. That's who I am.
That's so good. It's so good, because there are people, and I'm not just saying this as a therapist, just as a person, there are people that I personally know that let something small happen to them and they're like, that's it. I'm done. My hands are over. Like, that's it. But the fact that it was just something was always happening, but then you talking about, I'm going to use this to push me into purpose. I'm going to take this pain and be like, hey, listen, the story doesn't stop here. It keeps going. I still have a story. And to be a paralegal, like, come on, that's so
Talk
good.
about it, and that's just it. That's not problem. I'm an attorney in art. That's long ago, but it is. And I enjoy learning. I enjoy this. I enjoy this journey, and I'm not going to stop here. Like I said, I'm going to keep going because I have a purpose. And so, everybody that's come into my life has a part to play, but every decision I make is on me. It's on me.
Listen. One of the biggest cuss words in therapy is accountability, and people hate that word. They're like, no, I'm this way because this happened to me. And if my parents didn't do this, and if my ex-boyfriend didn't do this, I would have been. It's like,
I don't even like that. No, you're not the reason why. Sometimes I'm going to just say this short and sweet. Some men, the relationships I've been in, like, oh, you wouldn't have this if it wasn't for me. What? I moved this. You might have been a product of, me going up that ladder, but I'm moving. My feet's the one that's moving. My brain's the one that's operating. My hands is the one. So you take that with a grain. I take that with a grain of salt. You're not the reason why I got air in my body. You're not the reason why I breathe. And sometimes I take that when people try to say they're the reason why I'm where I'm at. You telling me I'm the reason. You the reason why I'm alive. My parents ain't even the reason why I'm alive. So it's him up there. He chose this path. Our path's already written, believe it or not. Anything that we think we got planned, that's just our thought. That's just our thought. We just going off our thoughts. But who's running those? There's higher power everywhere. There's a higher power.
And you better preach on this here pod.
There's a higher power. And I truly believe in my higher power. I mean, he's put me in situations like, when I say I was homeless, it was by choice. I could have chose to stay in my grandma's basement and raise my kids there and, and deal with the rules and the lying. And I didn't. I chose to leave and do it on my own. I chose to be homeless. I chose to sleep in cars. I chose to do that. And I'm going to give you a brief story that one day, and I told this story to a few people, and I'm not sure if they believe me. I don't really care if they believe me, but I'm telling a story with a clean heart because I know it happened to me. And I was outside in a car. We had no gas. We had no food. My son was about 6-7 months in the back seat. And there's nothing. I'm not working. And neither is the man that I'm with. We just out here just making ends meet. And I had this card I got from the government. I knew in my mind, like, I didn't even do no work to make sure there was no money. I got a card, but it's not activated. I didn't do nothing. I didn't go to the appointments. There ain't gonna be no money on this card. It's just a card.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'm sleeping in the passenger seat of this two-door coupe, and I woke up. Someone said, "Wake up and look for that card." And I'm rambling through all my bags in the trunk. I'm looking for this card that I know I never activated, that I know I never went, but I'm looking for this card. And when I find the card, I activated it. And when I activated the card, I had $300 on it.
Mm.
And I didn't even ask no questions. The only thing I could think of was a higher power, because when I called the people to confirm, they had no recollection. They're telling me there's no money on that card. There's no money in that card. You ain't get no child support. There's no money in that card. We have no recollection of no activity. I know I used that $300. I know there was $300 on that card. I know I swiped that card. But till this day, they're going to tell me there's been no transactions.
Mm.
You tell me what that was, because I'm not crazy. I fed my kid. I fed myself. We put gas in that car. I fed the man I was with. He can tell you, attest to this. There was money on that card. But there's no transaction that you can pull up in the system to say there was money on that card.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that was a big eye-opener for me, that nobody can tell me nothing after that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me nothing. You cannot tell me that there isn't a God or a higher power, whatever you want to call it. My God is very real.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment, I knew I got to turn some shit around. I got to stop doing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my moment of unsurety, of weakness, of like, I'm telling you, I've been hungry for 3-4 days and I got a baby in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to the system, what they're going to do? Exactly what they did. It's neglect. They're going to take my kid. So I refuse to go to the system. I'm a product of the system. Y'all the last people I'm going to go to. Mm-hmm. I prayed and I prayed. I don't know. We think prayers get on your knees and speak in a certain way. No, I talked to him regular. I cussed him out a couple of times. I talked to him regular. And look what he did for me. I will never, ever, ever, ever. I'm always probably sin, like I said. That's why he died, though, so we could do that.
Right.
But I hold myself accountable for every mistake that I make, every unrighteous thing that I do. It is what it is. I'm going to make those. I'm going to do what I got to do. But here is pure, and he knows that. And that's why he's going to look out every trip. And he has. I don't worry about nothing anymore.
Yeah. Listen, the thing about God is you have to experience him so that you can be like, I don't care what anybody says. You can believe in Buddha, Muhammad, the stars, whatever. I know for facts I had an encounter with God.
I absolutely did.
Because I had an encounter with God, I know moving forward, I'm taking him with me. Like, he got to come with me. Because there is no doing this life without him.
It's not. Think about it. We all come from somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't all come from the same place.
Right.
So our experiences might be similar, but they're still so different. Mm-hmm. Just like the outcome. And it's up to you to get to that outcome you're looking for. I know a lot of people be like, oh, well, you make this look so good. And how'd you get that? Some people call me to try to ask me, even with like the housing situation, how'd you get, doesn't matter how I got it, honey, I prayed. Because I can tell you 10,000 times how I got it. I can lead you to the same person that gave it to me. And you ain't going to end up with the same thing that I got.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Mm-hmm. To believe, don't believe, put it in the work, whatever that looks like for you. Mm-hmm. And get it done. But I can tell you, I never really had nobody to call on. If rent was short, I can't call mom. I can't call dad. I can't call aunt. I can't call cousins. I can't call anybody. I called on one person. He made sure everything I got. So when people ask me, well, how and what, I give you as many resources I can give you, but if your outcome ain't mine, then you got to know something is deeper than those resources.
Yeah, that's good.
And one person.
And when you have overcome the things that you do, your perspective starts to shift, not just on yourself, but the world and other things. So, like, given your journey and all the things you've been through, like, how has that shaped how you view yourself, how you view the world, how you view God?
So the world is a very cold place. I think we all can attest to that. It's very mean. It's very cold. I think it's very biased. I think that the world is everybody's focused on, their path, their goals. And sometimes if that means knocking somebody else out of the game, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what shifts my perspective, because I just thought, people with similar stories or with similar backgrounds, that we could go to those people. They don't care about you. They're just trying to get to where they got to get to, and they don't care about taking nobody with them. So I had to kind of shift my mindset that I got to stop being there when people call me, because I know some people call me, I fall short, and then there's nobody for me to lean on.
Yeah.
So I got a little selfish. Matter of fact, I got a lot selfish. I ain't gonna say a little. I got very selfish, and I don't care. I get people telling, "Oh, you're selfish," and I'm proud to be selfish, proud, because you know what? I came into this world alone, and I'm going to die alone. Kids, no kids. My kids got their own path. I'm not, I got beat. I got all that, because they thought that was discipline. I don't lay hands on my children, because beating them is gonna do what? They are who they are. I talk to my children, they're gonna make their own mistakes, and I'm gonna be here for every mistake they make. I'm not gonna judge them. I'm not gonna try to stop them. I'm just gonna tell them what I know. But no matter what we teach people, they gotta go through their own experiences, because experiences is your best teacher. So I can tell you all day long what's right and what's wrong, but you're gonna learn that on your own.
Right.
You're gonna learn on your own. I'm just gonna be here when you fall, because that's my duty as your mother. But it's not my duty to be here when the rest of the world crumbles. So I have changed my perspective for the better of me and my family and my energy. But I also understand. I'm open-minded. I was never open-minded. I used to be, it's my way or it's no way. If you don't think like me, then you're wrong, or you're weird, but then people call me weird. And it's like, no, we're not weird. And I'll take that if I'm weird, but we all weird to somebody, just like we all ugly to somebody. We all something to somebody. At the end of the day, I look at it as like, this is a game of life, and it's our life, it's our path, it's our choices, and every action has a reaction. And the only thing that I'm in control of is my reaction. I can't control what the person did to me. I can only control what I did after. And I was an abuser at a point. I was an abuser. It took for me to come from the victim/survivor to now I'm the abuser. So I became an abuser for a good amount of years in my life, and I didn't realize that. And I was like, damn, I'm hurt people. Yeah. I was somebody that was hurt, and I was hurting people. And from what I believe is, I don't owe nobody nothing. I've made peace with anybody that I feel like I've hurt, and I've taken accountability. And don't nothing haunt me. I don't owe a soul nothing. Nobody can say, oh, she owes what I owe. And I also never really, hurt is hurt. So even if we feel like it was a little, hurt is hurt. If I just called them out their name, whatever the case may be, hurt is hurt. And we can't dictate or say how someone hurts. Then I know I hurt people. And I apologize. I'm very apologetic, and I don't hurt people no more. I try to understand people. So when there's people out there that I feel like, I don't know why you're thinking like that, I just communicate. I ask a lot of questions because I want to understand. I don't want you to think that I'm against you or that I feel like you're wrong, because everything's opinion. To me, I took out the right or wrong, because who dictates that? You got an opinion about something, who am I to say you're wrong about your opinion? Right. That's your opinion. That's your thought. My facts are my facts. Your facts are your facts. And I just trained my brain to just know that no matter what, that is them, this is me. And as long as I'm open-minded to that, I feel like I can't do no wrong. I feel like I just feel like I can't do no wrong. So my perspective changed because of my experiences. My perspective changed because I decided I wanted more. And if I kept with that same mindset, I wasn't going to get more. I was going to get exactly what I set myself up for. And now I want more. People hear me walking around with my Gucci bags, I don't give a damn about none of that name brand stuff. But call it what you want. I got Family Dollar on right now. You won't know that.
Come on.
It is what it is. I don't do none of that, but I'll talk like I'm the richest person on this earth because my mind is rich.
Yeah.
And I don't lack anything that I need. Lack a lot of shit I want, but I'm going to get it. But I don't lack nothing that I need. I have everything that I need, so it's up to me to make sure I get everything that I want.
So good. Because I be balling on a budget for real. when
I got a little addiction with shopping. I do a lot of what they call it, therapy shopping. I tell myself,
therapy.
Retail. I do. Oh my God, have a rough day. Let me go shop. Guess what? I'm going Walmart and Family Dollar.
Come on. When I used to work at these programs and these kids were like, oh, ain't nobody touching my shoes. These shoes were $200. I was like, my whole outfit from head to toe ain't even $200. But I mean, I'm gonna let you cook because it's easy to spend other people's money. It ain't yours. But watch when you get your own money, and
that's what I tell my daughter that all the time, and she's already showing me exactly what I said. She get money and she hybrid. Hi, you got money. Well, because I know I'm teaching them. She learning because she ain't touching her money. So yeah, when the shoe's in your, I always tell people, you're quick to respond, right? But think about it. I've learned to put myself in other people's shoes. So I just say, treat people how you're gonna be treated, right? And then there's times where I'm a little aggressive and people are like, oh, well, gee, I'm okay. I can take aggression. So that's why I can give it out, because I can take it. So I'm not going to put out nothing that I can't take. If I can't take it, literally, I'm not going to dish it out there. I dish out what I can take. And people should think like that. If you can't take it, you can't tell somebody the level that I got to go to. If you disrespect me and then I disrespect you, but you feel like I went lower, oh, well, disrespect is disrespect, no matter the level. I'm not dishing what I can't take. So if I disrespect you, that means I can take the disrespect back. That's it.
Yeah. That golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated type thing.
That's it. And some people, they hear it like that, like, okay, treat others when be treated, and they don't think it through. I had to think it through. Like I said, hurt people, hurt a few people. And then I got hurt in return in the same way, but just worse, because you don't know the levels of what somebody's capable of doing. I just sit back and like, oh wait, but you did that too. You're more mad that you couldn't do it the way they did it. You couldn't hit as low. And then some people are mad because they can't hit as high, but that's up to you to figure out where to go. But just don't dish out what you can't take back.
Right.
And I always dish out what I can take back.
You're saying a lot of great stuff, and I hope people are catching. I hope you guys are soaking this all in, because it's so good. I think there's two things I wanted to highlight. One is people are so quick to judge, and they don't take the time to get to know the person. Like I said, growing up, I had a best friend, and when I say this girl was so misunderstood, she was so misunderstood, and I'm just like, if y'all just took the time to sit down to realize, like, this girl been through some things, you hear me? And everything you're seeing is an expression of, I'm lost, I'm confused, I'm hurting, no one cares. And so I'm just doing what I know to do. And that's just
exactly,
as these kids would say, I'm just crashing out, because like ain't nobody giving me a blueprint on how to do this.
Exactly.
Like, what? Like, I don't know how to do this. And another part is that, especially in brown communities, we don't have these conversations enough. Even if we're starting to have them now, because of the way that the world is going. And
exactly. COVID, now we're ready to start talking. Now we're ready to start trying to understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes it be too late.
Wow. Too late. And you just like, you have to find yourself in a position of, I'm ready to do things differently. I'm ready to do life differently, whether it was modeled before me or not. And I think that speaks to the type of integrity that you have in the faith that you have in God, because it's like, to know what you came from and to know where you are now is like, people don't make those transitions. People don't know how to do this because there is no blueprint. There is no role models. There is nothing. So then you have to, this is how you know God is real, right? Because God is like, I'm going to give you the steps. I'm not going to give you the whole staircase. I'm not going to give you the whole picture, but trust and believe. I'm going to get you there step by step. And if you don't believe in God, well, you see her, believe now, because this story is an indication.
If you think you're going to do this on its own, then you must think that you came into this world on your own. You didn't make that decision. You didn't say, hey, I want to be born today. Let me go be born. You didn't make that decision. No. So that means there's somebody that's calling the shots, whether you like it or not.
He is smart somebody too, because he knows what you need, when you need it, how you need it.
And you gotta just listen. A lot of people fight that because they're too busy in their own head thinking, But I always tell people too, like, if you want to see change, you got to make change. Some people are stuck in their same cycle, but they're looking for a change. How are you looking for a change in this? If you want change, you got to change something. Right. You don't want to change your mindset? Cool. You're not going to get different outlooks. You don't want to change. You know what I'm saying? You got to change in order to see change. Mm-hmm. If you wear the same clothes every day, that's just what you do. But you don't want to see that. You don't want to see yourself wearing the same clothes every day. So what do? You change your clothes. Mm-hmm. You don't want to see yourself wearing the same hairdo every day. So you change your hairdo. Change your mindset. Change your thought process. Change your reactions to certain things that put you in a space to react negative. There's been so many things where it's like, okay, if this was me even just a year ago, even just me 6 months ago, I would have knocked your head off. But I got too much going. I want too much. And I know what knocking someone's head off gets me. I've been there. So I don't want that same thing. I did that to you. This is what it got me. Why would I continue that cycle? I don't want that same comeback. So I'm going to change. Now I might get you in a different way. You won't even know what hit you. But it ain't going to be the same way I hit you before. Because I don't want the same outcome. So in order to get a different outcome, you got to have a different approach. People going with the same approach. Oh, I tried that. Look, try something different. I don't know what's going to work for you. I can't tell you what's going to work for you. But just know if it's not working, that means there's something you're not doing. There's something that hasn't changed. You might think, oh, well, I stopped doing this. That might not have been the problem. You got to stop the problem. And you got to keep changing until you get down to the problem. Because I promise you, once you change whatever it is, you're going to get a different outcome. But if you're only changing certain things that only you feel like, well, if I change this, then this will change. That's for you. That's on you for thinking that. If it didn't change, then what does that tell you? That's not the problem. Tell my baby brother this all the time. You want change, you got to be the change you want to see. And you can't just change in areas that work for you. When I changed, I didn't change in areas that work for me. There's a lot of things I didn't want to change or didn't care to change. I didn't care to change, but I went to therapy and I changed those aspects. And then they started to work for me. So I was like, dang, I didn't want to change those things, but look what happened when I did. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta take that on the chin and do what it is. I know some people are scared to change, and that's okay. We're all scared of new things. You've never tried it. I smell my food. I'm scared, but I ate it. I love it. You just gotta take it on the chin. And what's the most that can happen? If you as long as you know you're purely trying to change for the better, the most that can happen is you're gonna get a no. Okay. You probably been getting no's all your life. So what?
Hey.
I said yes. So at some point, it's going to be a yes because I said yes. Say yes to the things that your mind's telling you say no to, and all the things that are telling you no, they're just going to come. The universe is going to give you what you put out. And the universe damn sure going to give it back to me. And not everybody that I deal with is who I want them to be. Like, I'm still around people that I'm like, oh, they got to make some changes, but I don't let them dictate what's going on in my life.
Right.
I love you. I know you, but that's on you to figure that out. I'm not going to let your biasness or your mistakes be a reflection of my success. Your failure does not reflect where I succeed at. That's it.
Ma'am, I'm about to turn my camera off and just let you talk because the way you are preaching to the folks, you don't need me. I'm just using the platform. That's all this is. Because it is so good. You are talking about a lot of things that we tend to neglect. The fact that we hear that whole the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting something different. But then we don't realize like we can be changing so much. And it's just like, why am I still in the same places? Well, because who said there was a problem with what you're doing? Maybe we just need to sit down and I always use this analogy of like the eagle view versus the chicken view. Like chickens can see, but they can only see what's right here. Right. An eagle can go up and examine the thing and see things from like hundreds of feet up. And sometimes we in our own lives, we're viewing things as a chicken, and it takes somebody else, a therapist, a mentor, a life coach, whoever, to be able to be like, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Also, I think you're doing these cycles because there's something unhealed in you that attracts the things. And because you haven't healed that thing, you've been, like I said, I've been putting duct tape on things that should have been fixed a long time ago. And I'm over here like, no, it's fixed because it's duct tape. That's just the ghetto mentality. If it worked, it worked. Exactly. But in reality, if you don't heal the thing, you're going to keep doing these things over and over and over again. And then you're going to get so frustrated. Like, why am I still doing the same things? It may look different, but it's virtually the same thing. And it's like, well, have you tried to go to a professional or go outside of self to say like, maybe I'm missing it. So what do you see? Like the feedback that we get is necessary because you're not experiencing you, people experiencing you, right? So like you might have all the intentions on doing one thing And by the time it leave your body, it's like, ooh, that's not what I meant to do. But that's how you did.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it like math too, and I hate math, right? But I started to think of life as like it's like math, right? There's so many different equations, so many ways to get an answer. There's so many different like ways to go about getting an answer. You might learn math one way, I might learn it another way, but we get the same answer. So you just got to look at it like that, that you might need somebody to teach you how to do this equation from their perspective versus yours. Because even though you're getting the answer, you're not satisfied because you don't understand. So let somebody teach you in a different way and just listen, be open-minded to that, be willing to learn. And at some point I was willing. I put my hands up, but I'm not learning from just anybody. You got to show me why you got that answer. You got to bring it down, give me some, but I'm open to listening. Because like you said, they're viewing us and we're our worst critics sometimes. So why not take it from someone else? Not saying you got to go exactly with, just listen for a moment and then play it out.
Right.
And what's going to work for you is going to work for you. But if you're not listening, nothing's going to work.
That's very true. I love that. So towards the end, even though I can't believe it's at the end, but towards the end of every episode, I like to have whoever I'm talking to give a word of advice and you can give advice two ways. You can give advice to the people who have been in similar shoes or they're just like, there's no coming out of this. Like, there's no way I can make it out of this. But then I also want specifically for you to talk to those people who have family members that were like you or loved ones that are like you, and they don't know how to show up for them. They've judged them. They've looked down on them. They've given up on them. Like, what is your advice to either of those people?
So I'm going to say this, because I had to learn this lesson when my mother passed, is never push them away. I pushed my mother away and I never got a chance to really get to learn her and understand her. And it hurts way more when you don't ever get to that clarity. So just don't push them away. Try your hardest to just understand them. And if you can't, like I learned at work, there's a tap out button. Find a resource for them. If you feel like you got a family member that needs help and you can't be that help, don't judge them. Don't talk about them. Don't push them out. Look for those resources. Be better. Because you're no better if you're just pushing them out or if you're just giving up on them. What kind of person are you? You're just a judgmental as anybody else.
Yeah.
I won't ever give up on any of my people that's hurting, that's struggling, that's a product of the system. I'm here. I'm here to listen. Just hear them out. People don't listen. They listen to respond. I learned to just listen. Even if I don't agree, there's somebody out there. If it's not you, there's somebody out there that can help them. And again, there was this saying, what you can bring something, the horse or something to the water, but you can't make them drink it. You ain't got to make them drink it. But as long as you did your part and just didn't leave them high and dry, you can sleep better at night. I can't fix everything. And I know that I've done my part in those that I have been trying to reach to. They ain't drinking the water, but that's not on me. I sleep good at night knowing that I gave them the resources. I told them that I'm here. I'm a listening ear. Anybody can call my line at any time. Will I answer at any time? Absolutely not. But I will get back to you. I will absolutely get back to you. I won't just leave you on hurt. So I think my biggest thing is, if you love your people, hear them out. Be patient, because patience is key. And I had to learn patience. And oh my goodness, Lord, me and him still struggling, because when he made me, he didn't really dash too much patience. But
seriously,
I'm learning that. So be patient with your people. Offer what you can, and I get it. If you're not that person for them, don't just shut them out. Don't go and tell other people not to work with them, or don't try to take them from the resources that might be a fit for them. Be there for your people, because we all we got. We all we got. So be there for your people no matter how you feel, whether you agree or don't agree. And I know there's some family members you try to be there for and they just hard-headed. You can have distance and you can still love and you can still help from a distance. Be there. Be there for your people and pray. Pray, 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 pray. And prayer isn't a scripture or something like that. Prayer is genuinely a conversation with your higher power in the most realest and rawest way ever. Pray. He will hear you. Already knows what you want to say anyway. So just say it. But if you praying for a response that day, you think he about to be like, yeah, this, then you're tripping. Don't even pray. Pray knowing that you have to, you got to listen. Pray knowing that the signs are going to be in different things in different ways, and just open your mind like, damn, everything to me is a sign. Everything to me is a sign. Literally, if I wake up, my car don't start, that's a sign. Something might have was supposed to happen today, and I don't know. Yeah. Everything is a sign, and it's up to you to choose that sign as a negative or positive. And to me, I'll always find the positive sign in everything. You want to think negative, that's on you. That's what you're gonna get. I think positive. My car didn't start for a reason today. It started tomorrow. Look, we good. But if you keep you trying to go against the life and what happens, and again, another thing I do too is if you can't control it, let it go. It's out of your control. You cannot control the snow today. You're mad your kids can go. You couldn't control nothing that's going on. Let it go. It's a new day. Every day is a new day. We all get the same 24 hours. What you choose to do with it is your business. I know what I choose to do with mine. But at the end of the day, I'll never give up on my people, and don't give up on yours. If you want to see different, you got to do different. That's my best advice is if you want different, you have to do different. And if you're in denial of that, then you're going to continue to get the same thing you're getting until you open your mind. Open your mind, people. Open your mind.
Yeah.
And realize it's not you running this battle. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So just know, whatever he's putting out there for you, he just really wants to know if you trust him. That's all he wants to know. Do you love? Do you love him? Do you trust him? Same thing you do in your relationship. Oh, I love and I trust him. Put all your love and trust in higher power and see what he do for you. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. You were speaking about something, and I've learned the vitally important position that boundaries have when it comes to this healing journey and this loving people. But girl, you said it so good. You gotta love people from a distance.
Sometimes. I love all my family, but where they at? My family consists of 3 people at my household for real. My immediate family, my 2 children, and my man, my cat, my dog. That is my immediate family. But any of my family bloodline call me today, whether we see each other 5, 6, 7, 10 years, they know I'm here. They know I'm here. Just at a distance.
Yeah. I got and that's okay. People don't say that. Y'all, it is okay. No, by no means do you have to be around people that are so toxic, that tear you down, that break you, that all these other things, blood or not. And again, I love Jesus, and I know the family unit is precious to him, and so it's precious to me. I also believe that there is some times where it's like, again, like she said, love them, don't throw them out. However, and it is okay to love them from a distance and be like, your family, I'm not going to be around you all the time. I'm not going to be on the phone with you and listen to you gossip and listen to you badmouth this person and that thing. But I'm going to love you. And if you call me today and be like, now something happened and I need you to show, bet.
Right.
You love the car, let's go. Right. But there are just some times where boundaries are absolutely necessary, blood or not, because it be the family that hurt you the worst.
Absolutely. My family know today, for the ones that do reach out to me, I'm going the legal way. So if you want to know anything, I'm not coming to do this and do that. I'm not doing nothing negative. I'm going to tell you the legal way to go about everything, because I'm in a whole different field right now. So you're not going to get the ratchet me. You can't call me to pull up. You call me pull up and pray. Call me pull up and give you some resources on how to go about this negative shit the legal way. And I got you, because that's how you're going to get the most out of life. Fighting fire with fire ain't going to get you nowhere but burn. So.
Come on now. Listen, I love it. I think there was a lot of great things that came from this conversation. And, I definitely appreciate you for your transparency, because people don't open up about the stuff that they've done. Like the fact that you even put out the addiction and the stripping and the escorting and all this other stuff. It's like some people are like, yeah, no, I ain't gonna say none of that because y'all don't need to look at me differently. But when you're unashamed of yourself and the progress that you've made, when you're unashamed of the work that God does in you, you're just like, hey, listen, because you never know. You never know who was abused as a child, who was deciding to do these things because all I know is to survive, because nobody taught me how to live and do this thing right. But then eventually you made that pivot, like I think Chris put in the comments, you make that pivot, and then it's like, all right, that was then, this is now. Period. And because of that, I've learned so much. And because of that, I am different now. So my approach, like you were just saying, It's different. Like, am I going to show up? Yeah. Are you going to get the unhealed version of me anymore? No. You're going to get the healed version of me. And if you can't handle the healed version, I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm not
at all. I'm not going backwards, though. Absolutely not going backwards. That's personal. Overcame those, so never. I'm not going backwards.
Mm-hmm. No, and thank you again for just allowing yourself to be used by God. Absolutely. Because a lot of people will resist the mess out of it. And even when you're walking with God, giving him a yes is not easy. You hear me?
Girl, I was like, had a little talk the other night. Oh, come here, sir. Let me talk to you for a second. And it's cool. We cool though. We cool. When I heard him in my dreams. But I heard him. I hear him loud and clear. Mm-hmm. We good. And I don't know. Sometimes I tell him, listen, you know I ain't about to do that, right? But I'll take the consequences. And they be so light because I'm pure. Sometimes he will let you do your own little thing, and he got your back when you fall. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm.
He's real good because girl, I've been in the same place. I said, now, Lord, the way you created me ain't what you calling me to. And I'm going to need you to remember this because, like, you're asking me to do a lot. And, and I don't even know
if I remember that discussion. No parents, but you want me to be a parent? What are you talking about? How you expect me to do that? How you expect me to be a parent to some kids because you always think you got to have something in order to do something. You don't. I ain't no mommy, no daddy. I am mommy and there's a daddy in their life. Daddy been present in my kid's life since my baby was 6 months. Might not be their daddy, but guess what? There's a man present. And so God knew what he's doing. But I questioned him for years. Why would you make me a parent? I ain't never asked for that. I didn't want that. That wasn't in my plan. I was the rich auntie. I'm traveling, huh? Now I don't even know if auntie exists. I'm the mom. I'm mommy. I'm mom. Big mama. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is. I love him for that. I love my babies. And I'm grateful. I got my boy and my girl. And we doing the damn thing. Mm-hmm. I can't ask for nothing more.
Listen, that little mic drop you did at the end where it's like you don't have to have something in order to do it reminds me of the Bible where he was talking about Gideon, and Gideon was like, I ain't nobody. He said, mighty man of valor, which means God knows who you are, whether you had an example back then or not. Because I'll tell you,
right.
I literally the other day was like, I'm not meant to be this entrepreneur thing. I'm not cut out for it because this ain't it. And this is this entrepreneurship and running this business and doing all these things. It takes a lot.
Girl, you're doing it. And I got faith in you, and thank you. Well, having me, I'm honored. Like I tell you all the time, I'm honored. I think you're doing your thing. Listen, I know you're gonna excel.
I appreciate it. And you too, girl. I might need your services because I might need some legal aid. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, as a paralegal, I really can't give you no legal advice, but I could point you in the right direction. Just gonna say that.
Yes, indeed. So, you guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope that you share this. Because if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, share this stuff because this is some good stuff right here. Next week, I don't know what I'm doing next week, but I will tell you the last 2 weeks of February, because it's Black History Month, glad to be here. We're going to do a Black Excellence panel. I'm going to do 2 parts. So I'm going to have 3 people on one part, 3 people on the second part. Y'all look out for it. Walisha, Miss Ma'am, you are amazing. You are a testimony. And listen here, God is still doing miracles out here. Okay? He didn't just do it in Bible times. He's still doing it. You are a walking, talking, living, breathing testimony. And I am so proud of you, even though I just met you. But girl.
I appreciate that. Can we tell them where we met at? Can we just tell them where we met at?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Tell them.
So I actually, through my first little success event, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to have an event where we recognize all levels of success, whether it be big or small. And we came together. And there were some very successful people there, as Jermaine herself. And I actually had some people there that didn't even know that they were successful until they heard other people's stories. Now they know their level of success. It might not be where that person's at, but everybody is a success story. Your story might not equate to my story or Jermaine's story, but you have your story. And only you know your story. But as long as you've overcome any obstacles, you are a success story. As long as you're making those changes, you are a success story. So I think that my success event was very very, very, very nice. And I'm very grateful for everybody that showed up and showed out. And I'm going to have another one, and it's only going to grow and get bigger. But I think for my first time, I was pleased. And everybody that was there was meant to be there.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. And there will be plenty of more opportunities for us to be melanated and amazing and beautiful and excellent and all these other things. So listen,
y'all.
What next week is going to be, I don't know, but if we're doing something, stay tuned. If not, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks for this Black Excellence panel. As always, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting. There is an outro video for those who are new to this pod. There's an outro video, so y'all stay tuned. Until then, y'all be blessed. Be amazing. Thank y'all for coming. I know it's later than expected, but you know what? You guys are great.
So. It is what it is. I appreciate everybody taking the time to listen. Again, thank you for having me.
Of course. Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Hey guys, Jermaine here. Thank you for watching this episode. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Listen, I am looking to transition everything to my YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/@AFCCS77. Go there, go subscribe, and let your people know, because a lot of my content is already on there. I have a series called Black Man Heal series. That was great. I Am series is on there. Join the Fight series is on there. And now this Inimitable podcast is on there. So all of the content that I've been putting together for the past, year and a half, it's all on there. So please go check it out. Also, after this, there's going to be a flyer that's talking about Jermaine's ready to go to work. Okay. Mentoring young people and young adults between the ages of 14 and 26. I'm really trying to do that more. So if you know any programs and churches that have some young people that need mentorship and need group counseling, let me know. We can talk, we can contract, we can partner, and maybe doing more podcast episodes. I'm just ready to get in there. So again, go to YouTube. I'll see you later. Check out this flyer. All right, bye.